As we all know, judicial systems aren't perfect. But could you imagine being locked up for a quarter or even half of your life for a crime you didn't commit? Justice is a basic human right that should always be ensured, but sometimes things go wrong, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. Hey YouTube, I'm Court McGinley and welcome back to the most amazing top 5. Sit back, subscribe, and let me entertain you. Before we get started, I want to know, what's something you've been blamed for but you didn't do? It could be something to do with siblings, your friends, maybe something to do with school. Whatever it may be, let me know your answers down in the comments. Also, I have a challenge for you guys. Let's try and get this video to 300 likes. Let's start off our list with the top 5 longest prison sentences served by innocent people. Starting off with our number 5 spot, we have Michael Green. Michael spent 27 years in prison after he was found guilty in 1983 for a rape case. He insisted on his innocence, and finally, after an extensive investigation in which the review team carried out numerous interviews and DNA tests, the system finally identified him as an innocent man. That is insane. How do interviews and investigations take 27 years to complete? He was just stripped of 27 years of his life for nothing. That's just mind-blowing that it took so long. I'm sure lots of guilty people in jail claim they're innocent, but they're lying. And it is rare that people are incorrectly accused. But still, in these kinds of cases, it's sad to see. In at number 4, Glen Ford. Glen served a total of 30 years. He was originally given a death sentence back in 1984 for the killing of a jewelry and watch repair shop owner. He was set free from the infamous Angola prison in Louisiana after 30 years under the shadow of a death sentence. I don't understand how they can just let an innocent man waste 30 years of his life in prison. It's crazy that it took them 30 years to realize that he wasn't the killer. At number 3, Cornelius Dupree Jr. Cornelius served 30 years in prison for a robbery turned rape case back in 1979 that he did not commit. For the crime, he was sentenced to 75 years. He insisted he was innocent, but it wasn't until 30 years later that the DNA was retried and it didn't match his. Cornelius has served more years in a Texas prison for a crime he did not commit than anyone else in the state. In our number 2 spot, we have James Bayne. James served 35 years for a crime he didn't commit. James is from Florida and he was sentenced to life in prison back in 1974 for breaking and entering, kidnapping, and rape. 35 years later, his file was looked into once again, and it concluded that James never could have committed the rape and was released from prison. I couldn't even imagine that. All of your friends, all of your family see that you're in jail for kidnapping and rape, so obviously they're gonna think it's true. This one's really bad because it just destroyed his reputation and relationships. Upon his release, he received a reimbursement from the state of $1.7 million. Yeah, that's a nice amount of money, but it doesn't give you 35 years of your life or your reputation back. And coming in at our number 1 spot, Lewis Taylor. Lewis served an insane 42 years behind bars before he was proven to be innocent. So think of what age you are now and add on 42 years to that. That's how much time he was held up in a prison for a crime he didn't commit. That's like half of your life, and he's never going to be able to get those years back. Back in 1970, Taylor was arrested for bringing a deadly firearm into an Arizona hotel and killing 29 people with it. Geez, the 70s were a bad time for falsely imprisoning people. But as it turns out, Taylor was wrongly accused and he was actually helping people to escape before he was arrested later that night. So he was doing something selfless and super brave, and he got punished for it. That's really messed up. Taylor is the longest known case of an innocent man serving a prison sentence. Well, there you have it. That's the list of the top 5 longest prison sentences served by innocent people. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.